Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to end the videos, another paid request, this time from Jonathan. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for the 1992 film Toys, which to this day, I don't think still has an official Blu-ray out. And I see this film, and it was directed by Barry Levinson. Barry Levinson, who had done Rain Man, who had worked with Robin Williams on the film Good Morning Vietnam. This was like a passion project. This is a film Barry Levinson wanted to do for years. Finally was able to do it with the proper budget. Came out, massive bomb, critically derided. To this day has a severely low rating on IMDb, and I just don't understand it. It's not a perfect film, but I see this movie and the amount of creativity, the way it really brings the viewer into another world, and for so much of it done practically, is alone something to be commended for. And it just never got that proper respect. And it seems like it never will. Again, to the point that the fucking film isn't even on Blu-ray for some damn reason. And I think this is a good movie for the Christmas season. From the opening, where you have the little kids doing their sort of play for all the adults and parents, and you have this song that I think works well for the holiday season, the closing of the year. And you have some music by Hans Zimmer, who's one of the people that did the score. Really good score. Underrated score from Hans Zimmer that no one really talks about, but really very solid one. And you look at some of the plot points, it's well ahead of its time. And in just the world it built. I mean, the story is that Robin Williams is the son of this big toy maker, Zevo Toys. The father passes away, but instead of giving the company to the son, he gives it to the guy's brother, the Robin's uncle, this general in the military, because the father thought his son couldn't handle the responsibility. So when the general is looking around, he's seeing all these toys, and this is all fluffy, just kitty stuff. And then he gets the idea to make war toys. But let's go even further with that. Not just war toys, but we can make weapons, pretty much miniature weapons for war. And in fact, let's go further, and we have it where kids control, and they think they're just playing a video game. I still remember the scene where Robin is trying to figure out what's going on. He sees this series of computer screens where kids are just playing these video games, but it's them destroying all this stuff, and whether it be helicopters or tanks or... And I'm sitting there going, wait a minute. This is drone warfare. Like, this is 1992, and what it's doing is predicting what drone warfare is. You know, people, you get on the screen, you do your thing, and you're able to bomb all these places from this one little cubicle, and you're pretty much controlling it like a damn video game. But no one wants to mention how, but it's not, but at the same time it's done in this imaginary creative world where you have this like lush, crazy green field, and you have like houses that open up like a picture book, but you see the size of it. Whether it be, hey, we need to go up the stairs. Okay, we have this big giant toy thing with these toy wheels that wheels you towards the top part as you're going up the stairs. Let's have these big toy elephants that are blowing snow onto the facility to be in the Christmas season. Let's have, what was it? Robin Williams' character has a sister played by Joan Cusack. So she'll sleep in this cubicle, and you see throughout the film she has a bit of a weird mentality. She doesn't quite think or talk like other people do. Of course, you find out at the end why that's the case. And she'll sleep in this like swan cubicle in this wide open space, and the top part kind of comes down like a, well, not like a coffin, but like a. I'm just so, each time I watch this, amazed by the visual creativity of this film. Just the insane set design. And easily, so easily award worthy, but it didn't get jack shit, of course. And not only that, but it would set up stuff like the VR sets where people put it on and they look like they're on a roller coaster. Now look at how it is nowadays with the PlayStation VR and all this other stuff where you have these things and it looks like you can see everything, and so there's quite a bit of stuff ahead of its time. Even the whole green screen bit of business. Just what happens is Robin Williams and Joan Cusack and then this new worker who Robin falls in love with, Robin Wright, before she was Robin Wright Penn, married to Sean Penn. Well, actually, I don't know where she was at this, but her name is, she's an actress. At the point, she was called Robin Wright. They see that the general wants to make more war toys, and Robin's like, I don't know, we should make war toys, but general's more in control. He has these secret operations going on until ultimately chaos reigns in the third act. So during that, there's a bit where Robin Williams and Joan Cusack have to get by the security guards. So they push a green screen down the hallway, and then they have like a music video, very, very MTV inspired. I mean, they even mention MTV. A music video playing. How do you feel? How do you feel? How does it feel? And while that's playing, they're able to sneak away. That was fucking done decades later in a goddamn Mission Impossible movie. It was, I want to say, Ghost Protocol, where it's like Tom Cruise and Simon Pegg, they're pushing a thing down the hallway. That's a green screen where they fill it, not, of course, not with a music video, although that'd be pretty funny if they did. But they push a green screen down, they use it in order to get by security. I'm like, that's the same fucking thing. But it's alright if this is a Mission Impossible movie, but not if it's in this movie. Fuck if I know why. So that's for me, just the set design and the world it creates. It really is like the child. It's the wonder of a child. The color schemes and the bright colors everywhere. You also have people like LL Cool J as the general's son, who's always in training. So there's times he'll pop up and you're surprised as he's in camo, different types of camouflage. I think even LL Cool J does fine for what he needs to do. I always remember the little rant he does about his food touching. Oh, I like military meals and military plates. I hate when the food touches, and I don't want the peas and the mashed potatoes. And I'm like, hey, I can see what you mean, man. I don't want my food mixing either. And again, how they make each scene pop up with, how do we make this scene more creative? Okay, well, Robin Williams and the general they're in this golf cart. That idea from point A to point B. How do we make that, but have a little bit of twist on it? Well, let's have him be this little rolling up and down hill in this corridor, and let's have someone stop him because these Dutch crossing, but it's toy Dutch crossing. I'm like, like that's the reaction I got a lot in this movie. Other people, Jamie Foxx, he's in it for a teeny bit as one of the security guys. And there's even a bit that he shares with LL Cool J, which is funny because later on there'd be an Any Given Sunday, which apparently there's a lot of friction between those two on that film. So it makes me wonder if any of that started on this film or. It's also funny how, of course, in this film, LL Cool J is more on the food chain, but Any Given Sunday, Jamie Foxx is much more on the food chain. Much more high, I should say. And then you have the Hans Zimmer music. I think it's very well done. I especially like their take on what was Welcome to the Pleasure Dome. I forget the band that did that, but that's involved in this, and Hans Zimmer does his own interpretation of that. I think it works well, especially during the chaos, because there's a big action piece where our heroes have to use all these good-natured toys as a diversion against all these little toy tanks and helicopters. So they're going at them while our heroes try to either figure out what to do next, or Robin needs to get to the controls to stop this whole thing. So it just gave out this wondrous, magical world that I watch and go, I'm still blown away. And a lot of it, for the most part, is done in camera. And it just gets thrown away like that. Like, I just see the passion involved with this. And the fact that it's just thrown away, and then you see all these, you see a lot of other movies that have zero passion, and they make a lot fucking more money. I know people, while you bring Stream 6, that movie comes out. Stream 5, Stream 6, those movies come out. I don't see any fucking passion in them or creativity, and then they make, hundreds of millions of dollars, get critical praise, but a film like this gets just shit on. I just don't understand it. Just don't understand it. Now, am I to say this is a perfect film? No. I do like Robin Williams in the movie. He's great I miss the guy a lot. I will say at times it does seem as if okay, Robin, say something funny here. Robin, say something funny here. So it's like he's doing his best, but at the same time, I wouldn't say it's the funniest Robin Williams film I've seen. I would say I probably got more laughs out of him in Club Paradise, Cadillac Man, maybe even Jumanji. And sometimes he felt a bit unsure what to say next, as in the set design, the gimmicks, the whole gimmick of the movie kind of pulled the story more than Robin. It's just, okay, Robin has to try to find something funny, and he kind of go along for the ride. And at times it felt like, okay, it's okay, I gotta think of an ad lib, and they weren't always the best. Like some of his interactions with Robin Wright, some of it was sweet, some of it felt a bit awkward, like when both of them are trying to do like some type of accent, like somebody they talk with the teeth like this, and like it's kind of sweet to see how they're getting along, but I wouldn't say I found it hilarious or anything. Even sometimes the interaction between Joan Cusack and Robin Williams, they seem more awkward than funny. Because the way Joan Cusack's character is so off the beaten path. I forget what was the line she said. Like, there's a certain word. It's like, this is like after their father's funeral, and she just out of the blue says a word. Wow, that always sounds so weird. That word. And Rob was like, yeah, I get what you mean. And it just felt more awkward than funny. I would say between Robin and Wright and Robin Williams, that was a little bit more. I could see a bit of a sweeter connection. I can't say I really like Joan Cusack's character. Like, I get what they're going for, and spoiler, you find out later that she's a robot, and that's why she had this off the beaten path personality. So it's not like Joan Cusack was bad, but it's just a lot of stuff she was saying wasn't really that funny to me. It was just felt more like, okay, she's being awkward because she's an awkward character. So, and Robin, there'd be once in a while, a line that would make me laugh from him. And let's say I love Robin Williams, so it's great to see him in the lead, and I love that he's the lead in this. And just his infectious energy carries his portions of the film. I'm just saying there are films where I found his dialogue funnier. And like there's a bit where he falls in this pit of water. There's something in there. He barely escapes. Later on, he confronts them, and he says something to the effect of, "There's something big and pulsating in the water, and it wasn't me." Well, I thought that was pretty funny. And in a way, this is kind of a Robin doing sort of a fantastical action adventure, kind of a warm up to Jumanji. Because it's hard for me to pick like what's my favorite Robin Williams film. A lot of times I say Club Paradise because I think he's very funny in that. I really liked his performance in that. And while the film itself, there are a lot of issues to have, I just really like Robin himself in that. Just, I mean, maybe the more I think about it, I probably would say Jumanji maybe is my favorite Robin Williams film if I think about it more. Because that question's come up a bit, and I do have different answers. Because I like What Dreams May Come. I like a lot of his movies, but and this comes up at times too. I would say Jumanji was probably a better melding of Robin's sensibilities of humor and the gimmick of the effects or whatever the plot is. So I would say probably Jumanji was better than this, but this is a great warm up to it. And the third act, when all these cool looking robot tanks and these war toys and helicopters and the little details they put in, like the helicopter practically having this thing to touch the elevator button, just all these details of craftsmanship in the world of today where everything would just be after the math of CGI. It's great to see all the stuff they built practically for this. That would not happen again because again they just put in post CGI wise. Now the one thing I don't like about the third act, the final battle, I should say, is for some reason they do the I don't know what you call this technique. I keep wanting to say time lapse, but it's slow motion, but it's not slow motion. There's a slow motion, but it becomes fairly like blurry type of slow motion. That's why I keep thinking of the phrase time lapse. It just they do slow motion, but when I think of slow motion, I think of John Woo or even Zack Snyder. It's not that. It's they're going slower, but it's much more herky jerky. And at times it makes it hard to see what the fuck's going on. Now maybe Barry Levinson thought that was a way to instill the feel of being in the middle of a war, middle of the battle, as if something blew up beside you, you're discombobulated. But that just becomes a very irritating viewing experience. Like there's a bit where you have this great looking set that we see earlier in the film of this mini landscape of a city, and there's this plane. Robin has to get on it to get to the control the control room. And like while he's on the plane, there'd be this shaky bit, and it's like I could barely tell what the fuck's going on. What? Like I don't know why Barry Levinson did that. I wish he just shot it normally. I think if he shot it normally, the finale would be much more. I like the finale, but it'd be much more satisfying. But again, there are times where even when him and the general are on it and the thing crashes to the ground, it's this thing I'm like, I can't understand 100% what's going on. It's ugly to look at. I don't know why they did that. Also, I thought they add this creature in this pit of water called the sea swine. Really, it at the end of the day it was pretty pointless. It's there, and then you forget about it for a while. Then at the very end, it pops back, and in spoilers, it shoots Joan Cusack's character. Seems like it kills the general, but it doesn't. Just wounds him. I'm sitting there going, you didn't really need that, because you barely see it. You barely get a good look at it. Maybe because it was something that they couldn't really do much about, so they had to hide it. But the fact that you never did like a big action sequence involving this thing, the fact that maybe because it couldn't move much, so it's pretty hindered in what it could do movability wise. I'm like, that could have been just a toy helicopter, a tank, any number one of those things it could have been. Or hell, it could have been, okay, the control panel's shut down, so those are gone, but it didn't shut down. But it could be like some malfunction, like during the diversion, one of the toys, the good toys, did something and made it malfunction, so it wasn't rightly connected with the main. Just like the sea swine wasn't connected to the main control panel. There's ways of doing it that you buy into it. That's what I mean. It could have just been a toy helicopter, toy tank, and it would have done the same thing. Would have done had the same effect. I just felt like they built the sea swine thing up, and there wasn't really a huge payoff. There was a payoff, but it wasn't really a huge satisfying payoff of that thing. So yeah, there were issues I had with the film, but just the world it builds, the world it showcases visually, Robin's infectious energy. I think the guy that plays the general makes a good bad guy. Michael Gambon, bad with names. I think the music works very well. I think Hans Zimmer did another bang up job. I forget who else worked on the score, but his name pops up. L. Cool J was fun because he's with the general, but he realizes something happened, and he turns on his dad and joins our heroes. And L. Cool J wasn't bad at all, in my opinion. And it was kind of cool to see this like weird amalgamation of toys and war battle. It just felt something I had not seen before. It felt, dare I say, original. God forbid. It felt original, and that was appealing to me. So despite the herky-jerky camera work, like even the during the battle where like of the good toys, one toy bear got blown up, and the other toy bear sees it, and you hear almost like a crying, like, "Oh my God, no, my brother." See, idea what Barry Levinson was doing with that. I thought that was kind of interesting. Just I wish that weird herky jerky slow. I wish that wasn't included in it. But when it got to the end of the film, and you see this again, the great lush grass that they used a lot in the teaser trailers to promote this film. And then you had that music pop up, closing time of the year. I really do like that song, and It's her brings that childlike wonder and smile to my face. To go, yeah, this is still, despite little issues I have here and there, it's still a very satisfying experience. I still think it's probably Robin Williams' most underrated film. That and Club Paradise. Most underrated films. I still like this movie. It's still in my top 5 Robin Williams movies. He's greatly missed. I think this movie definitely deserves a bit more show, especially during the Christmas season. It's a good movie to showcase during Christmas. Uh, Make toys, not war, however you want to put it. The marketing of this was bad. Just the poster is just Robin Williams kind of looking like he's Willy Wonka into the camera. The teaser is just Robin riffing in this grass field, and it doesn't really tell you about the movie. I'm like, you have this great visual splendor during the film, and a lot of your teaser trailers is just in a grass field. Again, even though you have all this visual splendor of the world you created, that's just a very weird choice. Especially when you watch the film and Robin takes a bit of a backseat to the world itself. But I guess if you don't care about that, then you're not going to care about the movie. I did. I found it very refreshing and just commendable to create a new world that we had not seen before. And especially with having to do it practically. It's one thing to create on computer, nothing against people who could do stuff on computer. It just, you feel a bit more of the blood, sweat, and tears when you see it physically like that. I can't help it, just how I view those type of things. But with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. And, yeah. At least get the film on official Blu-ray. Is that really hard to ask? With that said, thanks for watching. Take care. See ya.